To the Johannick family, and I do want to send my condolences to his family. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Brady, Community Development Committee.
Early this evening, we had a Community Development Committee meeting, and the discussion tonight was the Westmont Downtown Incentive Programs, the assessment and best practices. Also, I'd like to congratulate the Chamber of Commerce staff. We attended the Winter Ball a few weeks ago at the Hilton. It really worked out well. Thank you.
We'll turn to Trustee Simonovich, Police Public Safety.
Sir, the next Police Public Safety Committee meeting is going to be on April 20th here at 4:30. That's all I have
Thank
today.
you. Trustee Nero, Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one quick item. Our next Public Works Committee meeting is March 23rd, 4:30 PM right here at Village Hall, and that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Little, Administration
Mayor.
and Finance.
The only thing I only have two items. The next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be February the 23rd at 4:30 right here at Village Hall. And I want to let you know, on April the 13th, Finance Director Cunningham and Assistant Manager Parker will present the proposed budget for 2023-2024. And that's all I have,
Very
Mayor.
good, thank you. We saved all the information for Trustee Barker with Environmental Improvement
I'll
Committee.
take
and
everybody's
Westmont.
time.
Yeah, you've got a whole page here, so.
Thank you, Mayor. This past Monday, we had an Environmental Improvement Committee meeting, and I have to say, we had some distinguished guests. We had John Yater came back, Chad DeVries, and Bob Fleck, and we talked about a lot of these environmental questions that we get are, you know, about naturalized landscapes, bee pollination, and pesticide spraying and all that stuff. So this was a kind of a great working meeting where they came in and they did presentations on all of that stuff. So there's a lot of information here. But I just want to start on the front end of this. With those people working in our community, we're in great hands. The knowledge that they have, it was 2.5 hours and they talked for 2 hours and 15 minutes. But it's on their field of expertise, looking at our tree canopy, looking at our bee population, looking at our naturalized landscape in our parks and the practices that they use. I trust them completely. So that's what I want to relay to the board. On the particular topics, community solar, Glenn Gabriel introduced the concept of community solar in which municipalities are signing on with providers that obtain their electricity exclusively from solar power. And there is also a possibility of a cost savings to the user. The EIC has encouraged the village to do some fact-finding regarding this topic. And we pass that on to village staff to say, we think we should look into this to see if it's a benefit to our residents. EIC reports the group is looking at to present here the goals for 2023 on February 23rd at the Admin Finance meeting. And then our annual report, which is a lot of facts and figures, on April 16th. There was a conversation had about the BNSF Corridor Native Plantings Plan, and this was spurred by some development that was done in Clarendon Hills, and we're like, you know, we saw that, we want that, how did they do that? And all these questions were brought back, and I know we talked about this years ago. Anyway, Village Forester Chad DeVries talked about the variety of topics, including the village's use of pesticides on overall community progress maintenance plan for various plantings. Chad also discussed ideas for future planning with the BNSF corridor. The group talked about the success of Clarendon Hills Train Corridor plantings and things might be a good model to review. The Westmont tree canopy status, Forester John Yater talked about a recent report regarding Westmont tree canopy or the tree population. While we have made improvements over the years, Westmont has less tree canopy cover than any other adjacent neighbors, and we are behind on in the county as a whole, but we are doing very well in the state. The group, DuPage County, I mean, is doing very well in the state. The group discussed ways to address this concern as we move forward. All that being said, with emerald ash borer and all the things that we've gone through with trees over the last several years, From 2018 to 2022, we are up 4% in our tree population, which is a tribute to all the hard work those guys do. The bad news of that whole thing is a lot of the trees that we have are invasive. So these are trees that have grown up wild and have taken over, which is problematic, especially if you get something that would attack that. You'd lose, like emerald ash borer, you lost a lot of ash trees. If you get something to attack these invasive trees, we could see some significant loss. Not that they're great trees to lose, but that's all we have. But very, very good information there. And then I wanted to report the holiday lights recycling is completed. Our program ran from early December through the end of January, and we had a record year. We collected 3,206 pounds of holiday lights, which was 1,000 pounds more than last year. So all of that recycling in the community, everything that we've done has been in an increase, which is wonderful. And I'm actually happy to report over the last few months now, we've had other interested residents coming to the meeting, asking questions, sending emails. And then we also have high hopes for the library as a gardening club with about 30 people. And we're going to meet up with them in a Zoom meeting here on Valentine's Day. So it's great things. Thank you.
Moira know that?
She does. I told her yesterday. She's okay with it.
Thank you. A lot of good things. And I can see why somebody wants to get involved. You're doing a lot of good recycling and a lot of good education. Moving on, items to be removed from the consent agenda. Does anybody have an item? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to please read.
Tonight, the consent agenda begins with village board meeting minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held January 26, 2023. Next is finance ordinance number 20 in the amount of $1,782,081.14. We have 3 purchase orders. First one's Primera Engineers, $96,890, represents the 59th Street sidewalk, both Phase 1 and Phase 2 engineering services. Next purchase order is Thomas Engineering Group, $109,905. This is for it's called Residential Alley, but it's 12 North, also for both Phase 1 and Phase 2 design engineering services. Next is Crown Industries, $44,675.77, and this is for the additional but remaining work on the fuel center that's over by the fire department.
What is the additional work? I thought it was all completed.
The work was completed, but there were some modifications. I can't describe all of them, and I don't know if you're familiar with the list, but there was some peripheral work that we added after they started working, like buffering and things like that too. I didn't mean to stump you, but I don't know if you're familiar with.
Yeah, there was some additional storm sewer work and some modifications around there there's some containment aspects and some drainage aspects that were done.
So there was that, there was additional work, and it was also just the final payment because they've been working on a punch list for,
Okay.
a while too. So
Thank you.
it's both of those. Those 3 purchase orders total $251,500.77, and that brings the total of the purchase orders together with finance ordinance number 20 to $2,033,581.91. The last item on the consent agenda is a hotel motel grant request for the Lions Club. Board to consider a motion awarding hotel motel grant request in the amount of $2,500 to the Westmont Lions Foundation for the 2023 Westmont Lions Spring Fling Festival. And that's the entire consent agenda.
It's basically the same it has been the last several years. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion
Second, Brady.
motion to approve, Little?
Second. Any additional comments? Trustee Brady? No?
Second.
Anybody? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little,
Yes?
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich,
Yes.
Trustee Barker,
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes. Motion passes. We'll move on to new business. B1 permit. Fadum Furniture Showroom at 36 South Cass Avenue, Unit 28. Board to consider an ordinance approving a B1 development permit for Totem Premium LLC to operate a furniture showroom at 36 South Cass Avenue, Unit 28. Deputy Director Henderfein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can't do two things at once, so give me a second. I'm going to get the petitioner's PowerPoint ready. So we have two B1s tonight. So just as a refresher to anyone watching or listening, any business in our downtown that wishes to open has a requirement for a B1 development permit, which is basically an approval for the board. The way it's structured is that it basically states that we give preference to retail spaces, and if it's a service use, then there's an ability to question if it's taking prime retail space. We like to use this as an opportunity for the new business owner to tout themselves in front of the board, explain their business. So this is at 36 South Cass Avenue. It's Fadum Furniture, and forgive me, petitioner, it's Victor Koshi-Valesky. I hope that's close. But this is a furniture showroom, and the building is, we commonly refer to it as Richmond Station. So that's the building that has Burbridge Lighting. I think there's a kitchen cabinet maker in there. There's a few other small businesses in there. So he has a furniture showroom that he wants to move in there, and I'll go ahead and let him come up and explain his business to you.
I have a question. Oh, you answer. Excuse me. Is your, do you make your own furniture? I didn't know you were going to make a present. Excuse me, sir.
Good evening, respected council, dear mayor. Yes, the factory was founded in Macedonia, in Europe, by a couple, husband and wife, both designers, 2005. Since then, they've been progressing into 20 countries with sales in Europe and Middle East. A year ago in Canada, all with remarkable success. Now, since I'm here, I came here about 4 months ago. So we are establishing the first showroom for Fadum Furniture. Fadum Furniture has been winning awards for its work for the last 10 years, all gold medals in Germany, Switzerland, and all the design and furniture fairs. It's what's well known as a conceptual modular furniture, which means any of these things can be modified in different shapes and forms just with a couple of movements. Unfortunately, I couldn't access the website where I'm inviting you all to go and see all the variations. The team back in Macedonia has been quite busy with creating all these presentations and animations of what's the things you can do. All of the textile elements easily removable, washable, put them back, or you can just buy 5-10 colors and be happy with your furniture. This is one of the small elements how we have the products for basic elements like modularity, customability, transformability, and affordability. So as you can see on number 4, this is what you get in your box, and within 5 minutes you can be in the position number 1. Various materials, textures, colors, all made with all certification possible in Europe. Sustainability, the company has undertaken a big project in 2017. For every piece of furniture made, 5 trees have been planted on a specific location near Serbian-Hungarian border, where they have bought about 50 acres of land, which is pre-burned out of too much usage, but fertile enough to bring the fast-growing forest, and it's been planted for 10 to 30,000 trees every year since then. The factory is fully covered with solar panels, and will be leaving we're working on zero footprint on the environment coming quite soon. Upscaling all materials, using and reusing everything that can be done. This is the recognition that comes every year from 2012 to this day. We have quite creative elements, the Fader map, where you can just download it, point the camera in the space you want to put your furniture, select what you want, and you have real life elements of how it works in your space, changing colors, shapes, whatever you want. Most of the presentation about the new furniture comes on the website, which is created to give most of the information, but for the final steps, people come to the showroom, so it's a modular furniture. If you don't see how you can modify, move around, check the colors, touch the materials, it's not different than any other sofa. So we create this special function for you to move around, touch different materials, and select what you need. And we have over 100,000.
And you'll be selling it out of the showroom then, right?
Yes.
The point of sales would be in Westmont?
Yes.
What was you said you couldn't access the website, but what is it? What is the address?
Faden.com.
Great, thank you.
Just a quick, a nugget couch. Are you familiar with a nugget couch?
No.
No?
Probably
Just like that, you put it together. and my grandkids love it.
Nuggets don't have legs, though, so.
Yeah.
Is all the furniture manufactured in Macedonia?
Yeah.
It is, and then you ship it.
Yes, everything is manufactured in Macedonia. Due to the expansion, the factory owners are planning to open a new factory in Portugal pretty soon. So hopefully United States and Canada will start inflicting bigger and bigger sales. So we'll need bigger production and closer to this side of the big water. Because of the transport costs that come, from Macedonia through the whole sea to Spain and upwards to.
What's the timetable on a shipment like that, delivery, if you order it to when you receive?
Most of the things for our starting period will come from Canada because it's been already for a year and we have a pretty big warehouse over there. But if you order something very specific, probably within 2 months you can have it shipped. Because if you see the site and you see all the possibilities, you will know there's specific element. It's plenty of points that you need to check because you have the elements, then you can choose different materials, then you can choose different colors, and then the modification of how long, how short, which element to move, not to move. There are plenty of choices to make. And at the end, when you do make all the choices, the actual shipment for the last 6 months experience will take 35 to 40 days just to be from putting it on a cargo truck on the sea and into a showroom, let's say in a warehouse somewhere in Illinois, 35 to 40 days. If we add the additional elements of production, we say up to 60 days.
I looked at some furniture last year and they said 18 months. That was made in the United States.
We come from a position where, to be honest, in our neighborhood, you are either too lazy or you are very fast. So we are in the group of very fast and pragmatic people. We have moved many things in a very short period of time around to make it all happen. It's been amazing to many people.
Trustee Simonovic?
So right now, the warehouse is in Canada. Will there be a warehouse local as well planned?
Yes. We are preparing all the paperwork. This is the first showroom. This is the first location, the point of entry to the market. Our realtors are already scanning the area for available space because, of course, our target is Chicagoland at this point. The elements, how the company works is usually they open a showroom within a 4 million people area. So this is our 4 million people area. So we are starting here and creating the US model. It's a bit different than the others that we have been so far due to the difference of preparation of paperwork, which don't actually exist in most of the countries that we have been, in terms of testings and approvals and stuff like that, but we are just about ready.
How many showrooms in Canada do you have?
Just one in Ontario right now.
Ontario?
I would imagine the rental units would be a market for you. The apartments, Don, they,
Yeah. Well, we learning about the shopping experience in furniture in the U.S. The U.S. has specific elements of furniture that usually have been sold according to all the advertising and all the what we've spoken with people. But with a couple of hundred people that we have shown our videos and materials, everybody is excited to see something happy in colors, easy to move around, different. So this is a modern modular element, probably will be different. All made in Europe, something different, we'll see.
do you have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made and second. Any
Second.
additional? Trustee Brady.
Second.
Oh, anybody in the audience has a question? Seeing none, roll call.
Well, when do you plan on opening up?
If things continue going as they are right now, we will be 1st of March. We have already been in contact with the Illinois Association of Interior Designers and a couple of other friends and businessmen. Hopefully the surrounding area, the Chamber of Commerce of Westmont, and together we make a small opening for everyone and go take it from there then.
Well, welcome to
Members in
Westmont.
the room?
Any
if you're-
chambers here? I know you've, Larry's there. Any additional questions?
Just a comment, Mayor. Thanks for choosing Westmont. Furniture looks real cool, pretty slick. I can't wait to see it.
All the
Thank
cool
you.
kids are doing it.
Open everyone for the, maybe I should wait for you to vote.
Vote on it.
Anyway.
Say something else, we might. I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. Welcome. Okay, you were going to comment?
And yes, I was going to welcome you to our opening that will be hopefully by March 1st.
We'll love to do a ribbon cutting right back there. Mr. Forsberg will set it up for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to new business B, another B1 permit, secured kicks at 21 West Quincy Street. Board to consider ordinance approving a B1 development permit for Secured Chicago Ltd. to operate a shoe and clothing retail store at 21 West Quincy Street. And Deputy Director Interfire.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's encouraging, all the B1s that we've had recently. It's really nice to see this happening. So this is Mr. George Anderson, who is already running a successful business a little bit further down Quincy Street, Harold's Shrimp and Chicken. I've seen, and I've had the food and seen the rave reviews on the food. He's looking at 21 West Quincy, which is just a few doors down. If you don't know the building, this had for many years Dance Expressions studio in there. I don't think it's had a tenant since they moved out, probably 5 or 6 years ago at this point. So he's looking at opening a shoe and clothing retail store called Secured Kicks. I will bring him up so he can give you a quick explanation of it.
This is Mr. George Anderson.
Good evening.
Got it.
Like you said, I'm the owner of Harold Shrimp and Chicken. Secure Kicks, I got one I'm building in Chicago downtown in 223 West Lake. But the city also backed up on permits for MEPs like crazy. So I ended up sitting a spot and meeting Bill at the space coming from the restaurant. And I was thinking I should try to bring something to this area because I like being in Westmont. The community been supportive, people been nice. And it'll be a high-end like Nike store with nice clothing for family, kids, grown-ups, everything. So everybody ain't got to go to Oak Brook Mall to shop. We'll be able to offer some of the stuff up the street right here. Looking to employ like 6 to 8 people. Early hours, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. Well, it's Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday to 7, and then Sundays 11 to 6. But it'd be a nice store just to bring convenient for people from the area to come shop at. You have Nikes, Adidas, walking shoes, jogging apparel and stuff like that. But not high-end, but very affordable for everybody in the community.
And these are all like a sports apparel.
Yeah.
And we heard something about like special collector shoe.
So you know how they do releases once a month with Jordans and certain type of Nikes. I got a contract with Nike recently because I got the location coming in on Lake Street. So certain stores get like one run, and they sell out of shoes because everybody can't get to them. They only have like one size or two sizes for every size between infants and adults. My store, with the capability that we have because we buy in bulk, I'll be able to service more than the typical like Foot Locker, FedEx, or something like that.
And again, it's the retail, and I think staff asked that. You're going to be 80%, 75, 80% resale versus,
No.
I mean, retail, not
Yeah.
resale.
It'd be like 95%.
I said it wrong, retail.
So typically, if somebody have a pair of shoes that they haven't worn and they want to sell them, I'll buy them from them.
Okay,
And then I'll just sell them in my store.
okay.
Stuff like that. Because people like hold on to shoes. Some shoes might be $200 today, then like hold them 2-3 years. They come and they want to sell them for like $5,000. I buy them from them, then I just resell them. But I purchase the shoes and then sell them in my store.
Question,
Russo.
yes. When you talked about the special releases for Nike, and I'm not into all of this, how this goes on, but when you get that and that this is coming up, is that something that is, like you would put on your website, hey, I'm gonna have these shoes, or how do people know what retailers have the shoes that are coming in for these special sales?
They'll show what locations have them.
Oh, okay.
Then what you do is to stop the traffic from being crazy, you would set up like a lottery. So people get to
okay.
draw, they get to go online, they get to win prizes. So I'll be auctioning off shoes also, so that people who don't get a chance to actually get the shoe, they still can get get a
Okay.
ticket or something, they can get a special shoe or something like that. So it's basically like everybody don't have access to certain shoes, and then to be certain shoes that we'll be able to get, like Jordans and like LeBrons that he just broke the scoring record or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So because of my vendor and having a special contact, I might be able to get a shoe or two of those.
Wow.
Hypothetically or whatever. That's just how it goes sometimes. But I had to go like St. Louis, Ohio. Nike will send me around the shoes that we'll get. You know what I mean? And then like jogging shoes and stuff like that.
Well, that's very cool.
Trustee Simonovich.
Is this a situation where people are going to be like camped out overnight
No,
waiting
no,
for a
no.
shoe?
It ain't gonna be, it's not gonna be no need for it because if you don't, you'll know that so what happens is everybody will feel like a slip out, okay?
Okay.
So we'll draw the shoes for the people who actually won, and they'll get an email before midnight saying that the shoes will be available at 10 o'clock. The only people that come to the store to get the special release shoes are people who actually won the lottery, pretty much.
Okay.
No, we ain't gonna have that traffic like that. It'd be good traffic because what I think it'd be a good traction because the way they build the new Quincy Street.
Yes.
Walking traffic, it'd be a good, I think, sort for people to see and be able to come, instead of going over to Oak Brook, Aurora or something like that, we'll be able to have shoes right here in Westmont so everybody can just come downtown and get instead of going to the mall.
I think Attorney Zemanek's got a testimonial.
Well, I've seen these stores and when a shoe drops.
Let's see your shoes.
And people line up but it's generally, I think, with a lottery and you don't see more than 20 people before the doors open and it's not.
Yeah, see, they changed that because what was happening was, it was a lot of people that was button lines, and it was a lot of crazy stuff. See, to alleviate all the problems, you know that you got the shoes the night before, so you'll come to the store. You got your shoes, so ain't no rush you have no rush to get to the store. So it ain't gonna be like we dropped the shoe, and you got to be here by 10 o'clock, because that's when the line forms. So we'll have the shoe on the raffle, so when people come in, they'll fill the raffle out 2-3 weeks before the release date, and then we'll pull how many pair of shoes we got, and whoever wins, they come to the store. They can reserve, like, okay, I'll be there 11 o'clock, I'll be there at 1 o'clock, something like that, to come pick the shoe up.
Trustee Barker.
Yeah, so this is pure retail, sounds like pure retail to me. But then this store, potentially would be open here before the one downtown.
100%.
And this is your only one?
No, this will be my second location.
Your second
This will be my second location, but this is gonna be the first one to open, hopefully, because the process is a little bit smoother. So like, now I'm waiting on the city with the MEP plan, so that's medical, electric, and plumbing.
Right.
And I submitted some permits, because the place is 6,500 square feet. So I'm building a barber shop, a gym shoe store, and a restaurant all in one space. and they denied the first drawings because of some type of plumbing issues that had to go from the restaurant through the store and stuff like that. So it's been freaking like 6 months.
I wish you good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Trustee Little.
Do you already have a huge database of customers that you sell shoes to?
So I got a manager, these kids is college kids. My employee's pretty much gonna be, I got a kid who just graduated college, it's 2 of them, they can manage. One named Ariel, and then there's a girl named Emma, it's 2 of them. They've been basically like, they got into the Nike field working the Nike Jordan Fest and ended up meeting some connects and stuff like that. So they had the database on their stuff. And what happened was I came in because I seen that they was kids who had the relationships, they just didn't have the funds. So then I ended up getting in with them when we were about bulk shoes. Like now I probably got 400 some shoes in stock in inventory for the store, which I have for downtown. So I've just been like, Nike now just been started sending me shoes like now. But I already had back inventory from when I was going to shoe shops like in Ohio, Indiana, Minnesota. We'll go and we'll buy certain shoes, stock them, whatever, because I was trying to get the store ready. So I got a back.
You've got 40 already, you didn't bring samples?
Just these were.
Yeah, I won't tell you what I paid for mine.
Awesome.
I gotta ask, what's next? We got Harold's, we got shoes.
Whatever Westmont got to offer. I see a lot of spaces out, so, I mean.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Did we get it? No.
Second,
Little?
Kuzo.
Motion made. Any additional comments? Anybody out in the audience? Anybody?
One thing.
Yeah, Trustee Barker.
Your chicken is excellent.
Thank you.
And the coleslaw.
I appreciate it.
Seeing no other questions, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes,
Motion passes. I welcome you to Westmont again.
Thank you, man.
thanks.
Thank you.
And when you plan on opening, that's a,
Well, hopefully, this was the big thing, because they wanted for sure I was going to get on the agenda. So I told Bill I wasn't going to do anything until I figured out what I need to do exactly. So I got everybody ready to go, so hopefully within 30 days. Because it ain't no major structure stuff doing. We got to redo the floor, no plumbing, no electric. Just pretty much paint. I got shelves that I got special ordered and stuff like that. So the store going to look real nice. It's going to look real nice, so.
That's
It
great.
ain't no major stuff, so hopefully within the next 30 days. Let's
okay,
go.
good.
All right.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
New business, C, award of bid proposal, Cyclic Parkway Tree Pruning 2023. Board to consider ordinance awarding the bid proposal from Yellowstone Landscape for Cyclic Parkway Tree Pruning 2023 project for the southeastern portion of town and Farmingdale subdivision, and authorizing a contract consistent with the bid. Public Works Director Reese.
This bid is for Cyclic Parkway tree pruning for 2023. The project was let for bid, and the city received one sealed bid from Yellowstone Landscape in the amount of $85,638.86. 1,523 trees will be pruned, and this will be in the southeast section of town, bounded by Quincy Street, 67th Cass, and the eastern boundary limit of the village, as well as areas in Farmingdale subdivision. And we recommend accepting the bid.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Barker.
Second, Nero.
Second, on the question, is this the same company doing work for us?
No,
Okay.
the company currently doing the work for the winter cycle is Winkler Tree Service.
And they didn't bid on this?
We called them to find out why they did not bid on it, and they thought the bid opening was on a different day.
Trustee Brady.
The current company that's doing the pruning, doing an excellent job, very neat. They're organized, they take a picture before and they take a picture afterwards. So it's a well-organized company that was hired by your section.
Yeah, and our staff does a really great job of interacting with the contractor and monitoring them and making sure the work is up to the quality standards that we need to have.
Mayor?
Trustee Simonovich.
Sorry, Bruce, did you want?
No,
Oh,
Is this a company we've worked with before?
No, we haven't worked with them before, but they did provide references, and all the references were acceptable.
Did you say this was the only bid?
Yeah, this is only bid.
wow. Because one misread the
Yes.
due date. Trustee Barker.
could you go over the notification to the neighborhood? You know, every time the trees get pruned, people are critical of that because they're chopping up the trees and all that. What kind of notification does staff do to let the residents know that's happening?
I know for sure that there's signage placed, like at the boundary way entry of the subdivision. Residents don't get like personal notice like we would for something more intense, like a water main project or
Just the
something like
chainsaw
that.
sounds at 6 a.m.
Yeah. No, we have noise ordinances, so it's probably not at 6 a.m., but they get notified that way. But we can also put something up on the website with like an area map explaining the work and having some contact information.
Yeah, I would recommend that, just because people, you know, if we can get them to water their trees and the trees are growing, then let them know that they're going to be pruned and it's for the better of the tree. It's not.
Helps them grow with a good habit and to not be so vulnerable to wind and ice and things like that.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I thought of one more.
no, go ahead.
Was the bid, I just want to make sure I understand like the budgeted explanation that's on here, but the bid was within what staff
Yes.
expected
Yep.
it to be? Okay.
Yeah, if you do the math, at $56 a tree, 1,500 trees, I mean, what a great impact that is. I mean, I wouldn't even get on a ladder for $56, and you see some of these, honestly, Frank, you hit the nail on the head. The other firm we used, they did a great job. I mean, it's just amazing how fast they knocked out Oakwood. I mean, it was pretty impactful, and I'm glad we're doing it, because it needs to get done.
Do you know if the company we used to use years ago, they in business still? Bid at all?
Don't know.
Don't know.
There's some,
Okay.
I
I'm
could,
surprised they didn't
I could comment on that.
Okay.
There's same family, new owners.
Local business?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Any additional, seeing a roll call, please.
Trustee Barker,
Yes.
trustee Little,
Yes?
trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Nero,
Yes.
trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. New business D, ComEd settlement agreement. Board to consider ordinance accepting a settlement agreement with ComEd regarding a notice of tax liability. And I'm going to turn to our attorney, Attorney Zemanek, to give some additional or any information.
Yeah, just briefly, the village retained, as of our audit solutions, to do an audit of the electrical utility tax that we collect from Commonwealth Edison to make sure they're capturing all of the addresses within the village and paying all the tax that was due. After quite a number of years of back and forth, we arrived at an agreed settlement amount, and there's a settlement agreement that was, I think, distributed to all of you, and asking staff has reviewed and approved that, and looks for your approval.
Have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion made and second. Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Simonovich,
Yes.
trustee Barker,
Yes.
trustee Guzzo,
Yes.
trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to new business E, IGA for police and fire dispatch services. Board to consider an ordinance approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Addison for police and fire dispatch services through the Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center. Chief Riley.
Thank you, Mayor. This IGA mirrors the previous IGAs that Addison Consolidated in the Village of Addison has done for the police and fire department. I will just say that this is a 2-year agreement. They only want to do 2 years as they plan to get all agencies that are up in ACDC aligned in 2025. And this term is for $731,002 with a slight increase in year 2.
And what was it last year?
Well, we
Or
didn't,
this year?
we weren't combined last year. Police had their own budget, we had our own, but this year they combined it. They gave a municipality break. So it's $731,002 to do police and fire.
Is that kind of equivalent to what we're paying two separate? So it's not, okay.
A lot cheaper than what we used to be paying while we were here in Westmont or in Downers Grove.
And they do have a dedicated line for fire.
Correct. They have two previous fire dispatchers, and then they have 7 dedicated for police per shift. And then they are also looking at bringing in Des Plaines Police and Fire very shortly, which they're not a DuPage County ETSB agency, but they're working on that, which will make them hire a few more dispatchers to qualify for us.
And both departments are satisfied with
Very,
this?
very happy with Addison and what they're doing for us.
Good. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Guzzo?
Second.
Motion been made, second. Additional comments? Anybody? that chief didn't say a word.
He's senior to me, so he said I have to do it. That asterisk.
Yeah. All right. Seeing no, roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Sabanovich.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. It's good to hear that they're doing good work for us. Moving on, miscellaneous. Does anybody have anything? I know the Lions Club has their big annual reverse raffle next Friday night. You could just show up at the Knights of Columbus and purchase a ticket, or you could see any of the Lions. I know that several of the board members will be there. Anybody else? Seeing nothing, there is not an executive session, so I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Little?
Motion made and second to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Again, motion, we're adjourned, and thank you for attending.